If you thought our current teams were crazy, just wait until you see this. We need to talk about what's coming next in Zenless Zone Zero, because it is going to absolutely blow your mind. We are officially entering what looks like the most hyped era this game has ever seen. I've been theory crafting and staring at these leaks for hours, and the sheer amount of content dropping, from an entirely new element to an anniversary patch that is basically giving away the farm, is staggering. We are going to break down every single banner, every juicy kit leak, and figure out exactly how to plan your account from version 3.0 all the way to 3.3. But before we dive into the deep end of the meta, do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel a lot, pushes our videos up in the algorithms so we get those high retention numbers, and ensures you never miss a theory crafting session with me. Grab a snack, pull up a chair, and let's break this down together. Okay, picture this. You're loading into a stage, but instead of the usual elemental combos, you're commanding an actual tornado. The biggest news dropping around June 17, 2026 with version 3.0 is the introduction of Velina Urgid. She isn't just a new unit, she represents a massive milestone as the very first wind element character in the game. Velina is an S-rank wind anomaly character hailing from the external strategy department in our brand new region. Visually, she's stunning. She has this Thyron design, which basically means she's got those elegant, elf-like ears, and she fights using a fan with some of the smoothest, most graceful animations we've seen. But let's talk about why she totally flips how we usually build our teams. Her entire kit revolves around a unique wind energy system that caps at 135. Once you max that out, you hold down her basic attack to unleash a gale field. Think of this as the ultimate secret sauce for your team. It's a massive area of effect zone that stays on the field and constantly opens up windows for your teammates to jump in with quick assists. On top of that, her EX special is a multi-hit fan attack that doesn't just build her energy, but slaps enemies with two new debuffs, Weathered and Erosion. Weathered acts like a damage overtime effect that constantly interrupts the enemy. Erosion is the big one. It acts as a massive multiplier, increasing the amount of wind damage the enemy takes. She is going to be your account's ultimate wild card, hyper-focused on grouping enemies up, triggering in-swept reactions, and setting up her team for massive burst windows. Whether you are a hardcore meta slave or just a collector, she's the undisputed top priority for the first half of 3.0. Moving into Phase 2 of 3.0, we get Norma Hollowell. If Velina is the meta-defining DPS enabler, Norma is the ultimate Swiss Army knife for your account. She is an S-rank fire stun unit, also repping the external strategy department. She rocks a smaller character model with this adorable hat-wearing technician aesthetic. But don't let the cute design fool you. Her kit does the job of two characters at once. We call this role compression in the theory crafting community, and Norma is the queen of it. Here is what she brings to the table. She magically turns your team's quick assists into full-blown chain attacks. She refunds decibels, meaning your ultimate is up way faster. She hands out a massive 40% damage buff to the squad. She naturally extends the duration that enemies are stunned. And finally, she takes her own crit rate and converts it into raw damage output. Hear me out, she's essentially giving you the utility of a top-tier stunner and a premium support, while still hitting like a truck herself. A lot of folks are already comparing her flexibility to heavy hitters like Jane and Delane, making her an incredibly high-value pull, especially if you're free to play and need units that can multitask. All of this 3.0 goodness takes place in a brand new city called Roskalifer. This isn't just a new coat of paint, it's a floating sky city with some seriously futuristic architecture, heavy integration of bamboos, and a whole suite of new exploration mechanics. It's got this shiny, utopian vibe on the surface, but the lore hints at some incredibly dark secrets lurking underneath. And because 3.0 coincides with the anniversary, the devs are turning on the loot faucet. The current data suggests we are looking at over 1,600 Polychromes purely from anniversary events, a potential selector for a free S-rank agent, a possible selector for a free S-rank W engine, and double top-up resets, cosmetic items, and login bonuses packed with encrypted master tapes. But the hypest part of the anniversary is Pyrois. This is literally us. It is the proxy character operating in the etheric other combat form. Picture your character stepping onto the field in full armored knight gear, wielding a glowing sword, managing kinetic energy, and having access to 4 different selectable ultimates. The beta animations look unbelievable, though we are still waiting to see if we have to pull for this form or if it's an anniversary freebie. If 3.0 is the party, version 3.1, expected around late July or early August 2026, is the massive lore payoff. This patch is officially titled The Long Goodbye, acting as the climax of the current story arc. Leading the charge in Phase 1 is Remielle. If you care about the game's lore even a little bit, your jaw just dropped. She is an S-rank Ether anomaly unit with massive ties to the Void Hunters, making her one of the most hyped characters since before 3.0 was even a rumor. She has a larger character model featuring this incredible angelic, winged aesthetic, and her kit is entirely focused on manipulating Ether. Theorycrafters are expecting her to be the premier sub-DPS or support for Ether-heavy teams. She is going to be your new best friend if you run Velina or Vivian. However, a quick warning for my Miyabi mains, early data suggests Remielle actually has some anti-synergy with Miyabi, so you might want to keep them on separate teams. Regardless, the community is already crowning Remielle as an absolute must-pull. Phase 2 cools things down literally with Sigrid. She's a government official from Roska Lifer, stepping into the ring as an S-ranks ice attack unit. Her design is covered in snowflake motifs, and she fights with a massive lance or spear. We don't have as much deep mechanical data on her yet, but an ice attack DPS is always a fantastic cornerstone for an account, even if her banner is currently sandwiched between absolute titans of hype. Now, a quick disclaimer. Everything from 3.2 onward is heavy speculation, so take this with a grain of salt and treat it as a watch list rather than a concrete spending plan. For 3.2, the names floating around the data mines are Claret and Roxy. They supposedly belong to the same faction, with Claret being a medium model and Roxy being a smaller one. We are definitely in wait-and-see mode for these two until the beta goes live. Pushing into 3.3 and beyond, we start hearing whispers of characters like Severian, a large model unit tied to public security in Phoenix. But the most exciting breadcrumbs are mentions of the Storyteller and Lady Sunbringer. Lady Sunbringer is supposedly another massive Void Hunter lore figure, likely being kept in the vault for a gigantic story event down the line. Alright, let's summarize the game plan for your Polychromes. In 3.0, if you want to future-proof your account and ride the new meta wave, Velina is your absolute #1 priority. If you need a flexible unit that fits on almost any team, Norma is a godsend. Definitely keep a stash hidden away until we know how Pyrois is unlocked. In 3.1, if you are a lore nerd or an Ether main, you are pulling Remielle, period. She is the climax of this arc. If your ice teams are lacking, Sigrid is a safe, solid investment. For 3.2 and 3.3, zip up the wallet, save your gems, and wait for my next theory crafting video when we have real data. This roadmap from 3.0 to 3.3 is easily the most stacked, high-stakes stretch of content the devs have ever cooked up. So, I turn it over to you. Who are you planning to pair Velina with? And are you saving everything for the Void Hunters? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to read your team ideas. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.